TBTL.
Hey there. Welcome to another edition of Hey Dummies. This is the newsletter video where we, the dummies, answer your questions. It's your old pal Luke. With my eye situation on full display, I just figured, we've talked about it enough on the show the last couple of weeks. You all deserved an honest look at this situation. I actually thought what I would do, because it's a very popular thing on TikTok, is somebody telling a story or answering a question while they're also trying to do their makeup. So I thought I'll answer a listener question while I'm also trying to see if I can put this cover-up that I bought over my eye and make it less bad by the end of the video. Let's see if this works. The question is from listener Meg. Now, I want to say this. Andrew mentioned this question to me the other day, and he said that it was only directed at me, and it's about vocabulary. Meg says, what do you do to build and maintain your robust vocabulary? That's not true. I think that was aimed at both of us. I think Andrew was just spoofing on that. So in case you felt bad for Andrew, okay. See, the problem is the underneath part. I now have kind of a black eye. Well, that looks better. I now have kind of a black eye down there. You know what I really need is, I need one of those. They have those, this is getting worse rather than better. They have those little sponges that you can kind of really, I think it's really about blending. That's the part of this that I have yet to master with any of my various physical problems when it comes to putting on makeup. Oh, that's a little better under the, yeah, I'm getting a black eye under here, which isn't helping. Now here's the actual, the base of the volcano, as we've been calling. I've gotten no closer to answering Meg's question, other than to clarify, I don't think that was a slam on Andrew about his vocabulary. The answer, Meg, about to the degree that I have vocabulary, is I have been, I guess you could say, lucky. Let's see here. I got to kind of like, it's really a light tapping thing. What I'm hoping, the color balance on the camera just changed. And all of a sudden, I look like Marcel Marceau or something. It's terrible. See, the thing with this, I'm not, again, Meg, I'm not answering the question. I apologize. The thing that I'm hoping is that there's a way to remedy this with makeup so that when I go do Livewire tonight, I'm recording this on Thursday, I don't have to have a Band-Aid on my eye. I'm trying to figure out what the least unsettling thing is for the people I'm interviewing and also for the people tomorrow in LA when I'm doing this Metallica story. Ideally, I could just kind of cover this up. And it will be, I'm also considering wearing my glasses, which I don't, it's not so bad. Let's see. What do you think? I think I could maybe get away with that. I need to see it, and I'm going to adjust the exposure here on this camera a little bit to see. I don't know. I think actually we might be able to get away with that. We'll see. Meg, to answer your question, I have had, at least historically, although it's rapidly leaving me, the kind of memory where my brain tends to lock in on little details, not large macro issues or events. I am horrible at predicting what is going to happen based on past events. Famously, I've told the story of how I met one of the Twitter founders back in the day, and I just thought it seemed like an absolutely terrible idea, which, ultimately it did end up being a bad thing when Elon Musk bought it. But I'm like, when I read a book, I don't understand the sort of thematic ideas that are being confronted in the book. I don't understand big, large, robust, muscular concepts. But I do remember weird details a lot. And really, what is vocabulary other than weird detail recall related to a particular word? Now, something on a more practical level that I have done for a long time in my life is when I encounter a word that I do not recognize, I look it up right then on the spot. And I also, when I hear a word that I really like, I will, and this is probably apparent as you listen to the podcast, because you might, like the guy from Kids in the Hall when he's using assess a bunch, you might hear a word suddenly start, apotheosis is an example of this. I think I got really into the use of the word apotheosis. So if I hear a word and I think it's a really nice word for describing something that's hard to describe, I will sometimes text it to myself so I just remember it. So yeah, looking up a word right there on the spot when you don't recognize it is really good practice to have. And then, yeah, if you encounter a word that you like, make it a fun little project that day to work it into a conversation somewhere. So yeah, that's, I guess, I don't know about maintaining my vocabulary, but having my vocabulary has just been one of those things that I guess is how my brain tends to, categorize information. Now, the other problem, though, for me with having some amount, some access to a certain number of, I guess you could say, larger words or interesting words is, I'd say 30% of the time I'm using the wrong word because I'm going for it too hard. I'm trying, I should have just done check down and just thrown it out in the flat to the running back, but instead I'm chucking the ball all the way down the field. I'm trying to go over the defense, and then it's being intercepted by the free safety of definition, i.e., I'm using the wrong word. So that's one thing to be careful of, Meg. If you do start to build up a big old vocabulary, just use it for good, and don't get too cocky with it like I do, because then you will look foolish. All right. I think I hit. Here's the other problem. Now I think I'm just putting way too much stuff on. We'll see. Ta-da! Hey, thank you so much for subscribing to the newsletter. Thanks for being part of TBTL. Make sure you send your questions for us, the Dummies, to Andrew at tbtl.net. Put "Hey Dummies" in the subject line, and we will try to get those questions answered. Appreciate you. We'll see you next week for the newsletter.